Have you ever tried to close a prospect, but you just didn't know what to say? Or you use some type of traditional closing techniques that you might have been taught, but you're noticing that you're still losing a lot of your sales? Well, if that's you, I'm going to give you my top 2 closing questions that you can use right now, starting today, to dramatically increase your closing percentages, which of course dramatically increases your income. So there's going to be some type of link on this page. Go ahead and click on it to download this cheat sheet. It looks something like this. Download the cheat sheet, and you're welcome to take notes as I go through this with you. You know, the funny thing is I got started in sales about 17 years ago. Got hired to sell home security systems, of all things, door to door. And the company that hired me, this is a funny story, took us out in a van, like literally a van, one of those stories, dropped all of our reps off in a neighborhood, gave us some type of script, and basically said, go get them, go make some sales. And little did I know at that point what the heck I was getting myself into. I grew up in the middle of Missouri, in the Midwest, on a ranch, and I wasn't taught how to communicate and sell. So as I got out there, I started doing all these fancy presentations that they taught me and all these crazy closing techniques. They literally taught us, I think, hundreds. But I noticed when I would go in for the close and use those techniques, I was getting a lot of objections, like, we can't afford it, or we don't need it, or we're gonna stick with who we have, or I need to talk with my spouse or think it over. Can you call me back in a week, a month, a year later, whatever the excuse was. It didn't matter what closing technique I used, it still resulted in me losing sales. So after about 3 or 4 weeks of all that crap, basically, I got to a point where I thought to myself, maybe selling, just really isn't for me. Have you ever felt that way yourself? So I was driving down the road one day, and a good friend of mine popped in a Tony Robbins CD. And Tony, if you're watching this, thank you very much. You probably saved my sales career. I'm not kidding by saying that. So he said something that's really stuck with me, and I might be butchering what he said, but he said something like this: most people fail for the simple reason they don't learn the right skills. They don't learn the right skills from the right people to have success. So I thought to myself, maybe what I'm learning from this company, maybe what I'm learning in all these books from the old sales gurus is not the right information. So I committed myself to learning and mastering the art of sales, doing whatever it took to provide for my future family. Because if you're like me, you want to provide for your family as well. And you know what's crazy? After I developed these top 2 closing questions I'm about to give you, and I also invented something called Neuro-Emotional Persuasion Question. I know it sounds techie, stands for NEPQ. I went from being a broke, burned out college student, a below average salesperson, which is probably being too nice about myself, to becoming internationally ranked number 45 in the entire world in the direct selling industry as a top income earner. And that's out of over 108 million salespeople selling any product or service that you can think of. I was making millions of dollars a year. I became a 7-figure earner. I was even making more than the owners of the company that I was working for as a sales rep. And now I'm about to give those closing questions to you today. So go ahead and print these off, download these on this cheat sheet. Go ahead and download it. Use it today. Use it today right now. I hope this really helps you crush your goals. And if you're one of those type of people who wants to go fast to learn more how to sell right now, then you'll even have an opportunity here on the next page to work with one of my certified trainers for really hardly anything at all. So go ahead and use these closing questions. Thank you guys very much. I hope they help you out, and I'll see you on the next page.